That's one of my biggest pieces of advice for like newer artists is like you're gonna have to get thick skin if you want to. Like you don't like people talk shit. Don't go respond to them because that's just
fueling the fire.
You know, just let them think that like you're not gonna make everyone like you. So.
Hey, I'm Alex from Whitechapel.
Hey, I'm Phil from Whitechapel. Yeah, I mean, the way I hear about new music is usually like being on tour, because like whenever I'm home, Whitechapel basically stops for me, because I'm just, unless we're like, you know, on a call with a manager or we're writing new music or about to go on a tour, you know. But outside of that, most of us just have our own personal lives and, you know, we all hang out and stuff. But the reason I don't really listen to new music is just because of that. It's just like once I get home, I'm focused on, you know, being home and seeing family, spending time with people, and, you know, just like, you know, this life is for whenever I'm on the road and, you know, to talk back. I'd say the only thing that I do that involves Whitechapel while I'm home on my free time is talk to fans, you know, through Instagram or whatever, or doing like AMAs, like Ask Me Anything kind of things like that.
You know, I like, I'm a pretty heavy Spotify user, so, you know, I find a lot of new music through that. Even, you know, sometimes I'll find a record from like an old band that I like, but a record that I might not have heard before, you know, so it's not new music, but it's new to me. So, you know, I really like streaming and stuff like that for those kinds of purposes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the basis of it is like I don't really like go out and like search for new bands. You know, if it comes across to me, then sure, but I'm not like actively looking for it. Yeah, I mean, it's this whole like, you know, deathcore genre has evolved a lot over the years. It's becoming a more has a, you know, a bigger spectrum now. It's not just like just one certain style of music and that's all you do, you know, like it's evolving and it's good, you know. I mean, that's just how music is. It evolves. And I think that, you know, bands like Shadow of Intent, you know, as far as like the heavier side of everything goes, like they were like a different style, you know. They brought something new to the table with like this the symphonic stuff. I mean, I guess you could call them, I guess they are considered deathcore, but yeah, I mean, they just, you know, they brought a new aspect to the table. And, you know, their singer Ben, he's very talented, you know. He on the tour, he was telling me how he used to sing when he started to learn to do vocals. He was doing This Is Exile front to back like every day, and I was like, wow, like it's been that long that we're actually at that point where we can influence the next generation. You know, it's hard to believe that that's where we're at now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I definitely think it's cool that the newer, younger bands are reaching out to try to do something different, you know, and to add those elements that are intriguing and they're interesting and they're moving the genre forward. That band Rivers of Nile, their new record is a great example of that. I mean, they've got like saxophone solos all over it. So it's like to hear death metal, deathcore, whatever you want to call it, with like that kind of progression, I think that's really cool. You know, I definitely find that as an artist, you're always going to want to do what comes naturally to you with your art.
Yeah.
So for Slipknot, I think for them, that's just what was their natural progression. You know, that's what they were supposed to do. That is the music that came to them naturally. I don't think they forced that. I don't think they did that to try to like tap into like a more mainstream market or whatever. I think that's just what they wanted to do as Slipknot, and it ended up working out for them. So for me personally, if a heavy band wants to play kind of cleaner, more melodic stuff, I say go for it, because to me, that's what art is. It's being able to represent yourself the way that you want to, even if maybe some of your fans might not think it's quite as heavy or quite as brutal or whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, you do make music for your fans, but ultimately it's for yourself first. So. Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like that what I just said applies for us as well, because everything that we've done in creating this new sound, it's all been very natural. It's very organic. It's never forced. Yeah. And I think that's why the music portrays that. I think that's why the music came out so well, is because it doesn't sound forced. It sounds like the next progression of Whitechapel. That's what it sounds like to me. It's like whatever future Whitechapel should sound like, that's it. Right. So
yeah, I mean, it's just you write music how you want to write it. Like I said, any band, if any band can do whatever they want. It's just like if Cannibal Corpse or something wanted to do an acoustic song. If it sounded good and it was written good, like who cares if it was them? I mean, yeah, obviously it's going to be unexpected, but it's just, if it's a good song, then just put it in your Spotify playlist and listen to it, and that should, just like it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, certainly, and I understand, like, when a fan develops a deep connection with older material, and then when the new stuff comes out, it doesn't sound the same. So it's upsetting to them, because they have a lot of feelings and emotions connected to the way that the band used to sound. Growing up listening to that band with their friends or whatever. But they just don't really understand that. I mean, as an artist and as a musician, you always want to, for us, we always are focused on how can we better ourselves, how can we do something different, how can we do something interesting. Like, we have no interest in putting out the same record time after time. So for us, it's always like, how can we progress our sound while still sounding like Whitechapel? We don't want to depart so far away from it that we do alienate those fans that just love the Whitechapel sound. Like, Whitechapel is always going to sound like Whitechapel, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to try to experiment with some different things here and there.
The thing is like he said, people are all entitled to their opinion, and that's totally fine. If someone, but the thing is like you can be critical about something, criticize something, but there's a difference between like criticizing and being an asshole. Like that's like the biggest thing is like some people just enjoy pissing people off for whatever reason. I think those people are psychotic, but it's just you can have your opinion, but it doesn't always have to be heard. Like, it's just, there's obvious things that people can say that can uplift and not just bring someone down. But then again, as far as like people saying stuff like that, I legitimately don't care. Like, I just they, if they hate it, I mean, cool. If they hate it, and if they like it, great. That's how they think, and that's how they're gonna think. So
not much you can do.
People should just that's one of my biggest pieces of advice for like newer artists is like, you're gonna have to get thick skin if you want to, like, you don't, like, people talk shit, don't go respond to them, because that's just
fueling the fire.
Just let them think that, like, you're not gonna make everyone like you. So that song is more of like a figurative thing. It's not a literal, but it is based on like the idea of my stepfather coming into my mom's life and them getting married, and him being like that predator. Like he's like, basically is the downfall of her, and like the reason why she ended up passing away. And that song is a figurative look of just a predator preying on a woman and her child. So it's and the whenever I say he's come for the blood of my only son, like I'm talking about me. And basically it's just a figurative way of looking at it, and how of her like trying to protect me, but she just can't.
Favorite song, I would have to go with either Third Depth or Loveless. So they're kind of opposite songs. Loveless is very heavy, very aggressive, very like in your face, and then Third Depth is more laid back. So I could go with either one of those.
All right.
Yeah. Third Depth for me. That was just like the whole like mood of the song, and just like I really like a lot of like dark stuff like that, like just doomy and just like depressing, kind of like Catatonia. They're just very depressing and stuff like that. I just love those moods. It sounds crazy, to think that like that's one of my favorite things to listen to, but like because I am a happy person, but it's just, I don't know. I think people are too scared to listen to like stuff like that because it's real. Makes them feel real emotion.
Yeah.
But Third Depth.
Father